Today I'm trying Britain's most expensive meals, the most expensive burger, the most expensive fish and chips, and up first, the most expensive full English. I'm heading to Claridge's in order to try their £32 full English. I mean, how can you even make a full English for 32 quid? It's a bit of meat and some egg, but we're about to find out. So yeah, I'm all dressed up, I've got my £10 ASOS shoes on. It's probably the price of a sausage here. But what I really want to see is whether these are actually worth the ridiculous prices, and if they're not, how much would I pay for them? Anyway, let's head inside Claridge's. Well, just finished up at Claridge's. It's very difficult to film in there, but I did manage to get some clips. I'll talk you through the breakfast. Oh, that was very unusual. Those kind of places will never not be intimidating to me. It's so strange being in that kind of environment. People next to me were talking about how they'd had one of the drinks at a hotel in Dubai named after them. Another guy was talking about how his friend had been robbed and they'd stolen like 13 cashmere jumpers. Get the cashmere part in. But let's talk about the food. So look, £32 for the full English breakfast. I'll show it on screen. It's pretty shocking, the size of the breakfast. You get one sausage, you get some small slithers of bacon, you get a little sort of thing of beans to pour on your plate, you get a black pudding, you get mushroom. It doesn't look a particularly big portion though, does it? Look, it's going to fill you up, particularly when you account for the 4 slices of bread. Like, it can fill you up, and I am full. But even still, the size of the portion was pretty disappointing, to be honest. The meal itself, not particularly warm. That was quite disappointing. The setting is lovely, the service is fantastic, the staff are great. If you're going to have a full English, don't go there. Go somewhere, you know, there's 10 quid or 12 quid, because it's probably going to be better. 32 quid. What was it for? What was the 32 quid for? I mean, you'd expect for that money you'd get maybe, I don't know, 2 sausages. The whole thing was quite bizarre, really, and too formal for a full English. So how much would I have paid for that? Well, certainly not 32. Given how much bread you got, and you did have butter and jam and marmalade laid out and everything, I'm not going to say a really, really cheap price, despite how little was actually on the plate, because kind of was still fancy. I don't think you could pay any more than 17 quid for that, and even that would be a stretch. 32 quid. That's an expensive fry-up. Christ. I think it's about to get more expensive. Let's go get lunch. Right, okay, up next we are heading for lunch, and we're going to go to Harrods to try the most expensive burger in Britain, and it's at Gordon Ramsay's burger restaurant. £85 for a burger. It's obscene, it's ridiculous, it's stupid. What can you possibly do to a burger for it to be worth 85 quid? I mean, we're about to find out. Some mixed reviews from this place. It's only rated 3.7 star out of 5, which for a fancy restaurant in Harrods, pretty poor. Let's head towards Harrods now, see exactly what this place is going to be like. This will be by far the most expensive burger that I've ever had. Can't see any way in which this is going to be value for money. Surely not. So over the top in it. It's like a maze in here. I've been through all sorts of different shops. Can't find this damn restaurant. Okay, this is it up ahead here. Here we go. Let's see if it's any good. Doesn't look busy at all. Okay, I'm seated, and this is the menu. This is what we've come for. The £85 18.49 burger, served with truffle parmesan fries. It's a much more relaxed vibe in here, so I will be able to film a bit. We're literally in Harrods, the shop, and the restaurant's not that busy. It's pretty casual, pretty relaxed for Harrods, I'd say. Feels crazy to order an £85 burger, but here we are, and that's one big knife, and that means we are going to be cutting this. That was really good, to be fair. Tastes like chips. Okay, just finished up at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant. I'm going to get out of here and give you my thoughts, but what I will say is slightly better than I expected, but also ridiculous. I mean, even look at the lifts. Look at the lifts in here. It's just crazy. I feel like I'm inside some sort of vault. Right, let's start off with the negatives. Absolutely ridiculous, outrageous, obnoxious amount to pay for a burger. I mean, it's really, really crazy. £85. The bill came to over £100 for a burger and a bottle of water. Such an outrageous and stupid amount of money for a bit of meat in some bread. What I will say, however, is it was really, really good. I mean, one of the best burgers I've ever had. I'm not saying it's £85 worth. I'm not sure what it could do to be worth that amount of money, but it was a really good burger. It was juicy, it was flavourful. I mean, the mushrooms that were in there, you had your, truffle, your cheese and all that. It was really, really good. Honestly, one of the best burgers I've ever had. However, it cost £85. That's such a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, it genuinely makes me feel sick. You just can't justify that. It was an amazing burger, really one of the best ones I've ever had. So I'm gonna say that it's worth a top amount of money, but nowhere near 85 quid. One thing I will say that was disappointing about the meal was the chips. The chips weren't anything special at all. The burger was genuinely very good, and it was special, and it was a genuinely really tasty burger. The fries really did let it down. You expect something a little bit more. They were just quite dry and really just weren't very impressive. A bit sort of soulless and dead. The actual place was quite bizarre because it was a lot more casual, certainly a lot more casual than Claridge's, and it was just literally in Harrods, just off some of the shops. Kind of a bit of a diner type feeling. I don't know why you're serving an £85 burger in a diner. I was, however, sat next to some American tourists who were just as obnoxious as the prices of the burger. There was nothing more annoying than a spoilt brat of a child, and well, they've managed to raise one. Like a 2-3-year-old child refusing to eat a burger because the bun didn't look nice. Anyway, how much would I have paid for that burger? I mean, let's be realistic. I'm not going to say a tenner. I'm not going to, do you know what I mean? It was a really top-end burger. High quality meat. Flavours were fantastic. Realistically, the most you can pay, and even this is just outrageous. I don't even know whether I've spent this on a burger before. I'd pay 28 quid for that. Not 85. That's quite a big difference. A massive difference. But it's still a top quality burger. It's a £28 burger, that, and I really would strongly suggest, if it was that amount of money, that you'd give it a go, but 85 quid, it's just, don't bother. Anyway, up next, we've got Britain's most expensive fish and chips, and we're heading back to Harrods. It's to a guy called Tom Kettridge, I think. Oh, chef or something, I don't know. He's got a fish and chip restaurant in Harrods for some reason. Again, just why? Just why? Okay, so we're heading back out now for tea. We're going to go back towards Harrods. This time we're going to be trying Britain's most expensive fish and chips back in Harrods. Fish and chips, I mean a chippy tea. For some reason at this place, to get a basic fish and chips, we're talking £37 for Britain's most expensive chippy. And it's in Harrods, and it's a fancy restaurant. How the hell can this be worth it? I don't know, but this is the final one. Let's see what this one's like. Maybe this one's better value for money than the other two. I don't know. Neither of them have been great so far. Anyway, let's head back inside Harrods. Okay, this is the dining hall. I think this fish and chip shop place is here. Let's go and sit down. Okay, here we have the menu. I think I'll be going for the market day fish, whatever that is, £37. As you can see, it does kind of look like a chip shop. They got the chip shop blackboard at the back, but that's about all that looks like a chip shop in here. Everything else is pretty fancy. Not many seats here though. Again with the Harrods still water. I think it cost me like 7 quid last time. It's not cheap for still water. Anyway, I've got my haddock on the way. That is the market fish of the day. Just a classic fish and chips basically. Let's see what you get for £37. Anticipating not a lot. But you never know, it might be tasty, might be very, very good. It's a beautiful building. Right, okay, it has arrived. And here is my haddock. And here we have our chips with some lemon, got some tartar sauce, some curry sauce, some peas sauce, vinegar, and a little bit of ketchup. Very much a ketchup guy with my fish and chips. Many of you complain about that, but I don't care. For me, ketchup on fish and chips, okay? One thing I will say about the fish is the batter doesn't look that crispy. Let's see what it's going to be like. I mean, let's dive into that. How many chips do we have? I think that's 8 chips. Definitely tastes better with the tartar sauce than without it, but nothing beats ketchup. let's try the chips. Wow, that was quite possibly the worst fish and chips I've ever had. I'm in disbelief. I'm not even exaggerating. I really cannot believe quite how bad that was. Not even just bad value for money, but just bad. Really, really bad. I'm almost speechless at how bad that was. Look, I expected it to be bad value for money, obviously. I expected that. We've seen that earlier on today. I didn't quite expect it to be that bad, though. Not only was it bad value for money, but it was actually just bad food. At least the fry-up this morning was sort of an acceptable level of food, even though it wasn't amazing. This was just really bad, like by all standards. It came with 8 chips. Crazy, crazy, crazy. The fish was dry. There wasn't any kind of crunch or crispiness to the batter. It was thin. It didn't feel buttery or anything like that. It was an absolute shambles. I mean, really bad. You'd be annoyed if you paid a tenner for it. And I didn't. I paid best part of 40 quid. 40 quid! The worst meal I've ever had at a restaurant. It was so bad that had I not been doing this for a video and, I'll obviously get the money back from the video, I would have complained. I genuinely would have complained. It was that bad. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not doing it, to be over the top, whatever. It was so horrendously bad. And I actually kind of wish that Tom Kerridge, whatever he's called, watches this video. Your fish and chip restaurant is rubbish. It is awful. It's not even average. It's terrible. Either close it down or put some effort into it, because it is ridiculous how much you're charging people for that. I almost want to tell you to go to it so you can actually experience how bad it is. I don't know what to say. I'm stunned by that. The chips weren't even good either. Like, chips are pretty easy to do. Yes, there was only 8 of them, but again, maybe if you get them right, if you do them really well, then you can sort of justify it. These were not good chips at all. I'm not a fan of chunky chips as it is, but these, and this is a weird thing to say, but these had like the rootiness and the earthiness of a potato. Now, I know that's what chips are, but I don't think I've ever had a chip that you actually can taste the rootiness of what you're eating. If I wanted that, I'd have a potato. Let chips be chips. Let chips be chips. Can we start a campaign? Let chips be chips. Honestly, some of the worst chips I've ever had as well, by the way. Terrible. I'm there putting more vinegar on. Maybe this will make it better. Didn't make a difference. Couldn't even taste the vinegar. So I don't know what's in that. Just water. Just brown water. The tartare sauce, fine. I think they call it peas sauce. Just mushy peas. Okay, it's just like a thin mushy peas. That was fine. It was okay. Look, the lemon was a nice touch. I like that in the little sort of sleeve thing. Bit over the top, but I like it. That's quite nice. I'm trying to think of some positives here. The staff were pretty good. They were friendly and helpful. That's all I can think of. Disastrous. It is absolutely horrific. And it kind of explains why it's rated 3.1 star out of 5 on Google reviews, which is pretty low, really, especially for a restaurant like that. It was bad. It was really, really bad. I honestly think there may well be some school canteens that do a better fish and chip than that. So, to conclude this video, as we've sort of demonstrated, none of this is value for money. Didn't really expect them to be. I kind of went into it not expecting them to be value for money. At least the Gordon Ramsay burger was probably one of the best burgers I've had. But again, 85 quid. You just can't justify that for anything. For literally anything. You should be able to get a car for that. The fry-up, okay, overpriced, a disappointing portion size. It will fill you up though, but again, the price is just a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. The fry-up, you'd be willing to pay 16, 17, 18 quid. The burger, maybe £28 at a top-end restaurant. And the fish and chips, worth 37. I mean, you're going to say this is ridiculous. A fiver. It's that bad. Just go to a proper chippy. If there's any takeaway from this video, just go to a proper chippy and like and subscribe. Bye.